Hello everyone and welcome to Barcelona KeenCon 2022. If you thought yesterday's games were good, you wait until today. We've got some absolute slobber knockers going in front of an entire course of the evening, and make sure you don't miss any of the action here. I am Lethal. Joining me is Ince as always. Ince, yesterday was pretty damn good. Today should be a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday we had some really good games all around. Action-packed bracket, and we finished on a pretty high note as well.
Yeah, we certainly did. With last match of the day between CNZ and RMV, that was a close affair in itself, wasn't it? And we have to go over the KeenCon history just in general, like how it's come from a small, humble LAN party to literally what it is today. Yeah. It's remarkable.
It's amazing. They've grown so much in 1 year, and I'm looking forward to what they can do with a couple more years of experience, because everything about this is, as you said, amazing.
Yeah, it's just incredible, isn't it, for what we've seen so far. But if you guys at home missed any of the action from yesterday, here's a little recap of exactly what happened.
Top opening.
And there we have it. Was there any favourite moments, favourite player, or in a particular match you kind of thought, oh, okay, that's looking pretty damn good so far?
I mean, my favourite player for the tournament is Raze, but my favourite player to watch yesterday was definitely RMV, and I assume yours too, because he's the best British player in Quake.
Yeah, he would say that, wouldn't he? Of course he would. Not being too biased at all. But he had, not only was his accuracy was good, some great angles, but the flair, the style punch he was showing, he wasn't doing that on purpose. But, every single player pretty much struggled against him in every single rail battle we saw throughout the entire course of the day. But let's have a look at the prize pool as well. These are what the players are going to be playing for throughout today as well. So first place will be getting €1,000 and a trophy. Second place will be getting €500 and a trophy. And third place will get a mouse razor Def out of E3 with the trophy as well. But there also will be trophies for whoever's got the best railgun and the best LG average as well. And it'll be very interesting to see exactly who wins those.
Yeah, I'm actually curious to see who wins the best LG and best railgun. As a name fan, that's those actually the most important trophies for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And now let's take a look at the brackets. Like we mentioned before, if you weren't here yesterday, not to worry. Don't worry about yourself at all, as we're going to keep you updated to see exactly what occurred yesterday leading up now to today. So the first semi-final will be between the likes of Raze and Zeneku, and then the other half of the semi-finals will be against Maxter versus Chain. So of course, these players have matched each other again and again consistently over the course of the year, and it'll be interesting to see how things unfold between these two matches.
Yeah, I mean, Raze versus Zeneku, we got a team kill to start with, and the favorite would be Raze, but Zeneku has been playing really, really well in Quake World Championship in 2022. He played really well. He had really close games with Venger and Rafa, and I think he's stepping up as the months go by and as the years go by. He's proving to be a very, very good player. And in the other semi-final, we have Maxter and Chain, and we keep talking about how Maxter is growing as a player, and Chain, he keeps... Every time he goes to a LAN, he performs. That's his thing.
Yeah, he certainly does. Once Chain is really well practiced, we saw that it wasn't looking too good at the beginning of the year, but 6 weeks prior to QuakeCon, leading up to QuakeCon, he looked like amazing, looked incredible. Yeah. Probably one of the best form he's been in quite a long time, and obviously been practicing leading up to this event. Max is still looking to break that top 2 barrier. We know he's currently top 3 in the world, especially after the last QuakeCon event, but there's a few bits and pieces he just needs to try and fix and rectify, but we're talking like very minor mistakes which will make a big impact in his game, quite similar to RMV, and he could completely change his game depending on his circumstances.
Yeah, exactly. And Maxer is a player that he really likes to grind, and he's a very smart player, especially even outside of the game. He knows what he has to do to improve, and that's why we've seen such rapid improvement from him. And I think, leading up to future tournaments and even this one, this tournament's going to help him a lot to improve as a player even more.
And you can see with Zeneku as well. It's a little bit similar, but he's a lot more consistent, and it is best of 5 match against Rafa or Raze. It's by 1 map, and it's the smallest of margins. So he's so close. He's just got to try and push himself a little bit further to try and get into one of those top spots.
I think Zeneku is a different thing, because like Zeneku has like all of the skill necessary. He doesn't really have any particular flaws. He's very good at all the points of the game. I think he just lacks some confidence.
Yeah, a little bit here and there. Yeah, we'll see if that changes later on today. But we do have the elimination bracket as well for you guys at home. And as you can see, Dramas took down Rome for top 6 yesterday, and a very close matchup between CNZ and RMV. Honestly, it could have gone 2-0 to RMV at one stage.
That 2-0 is very, very misleading. It was we didn't know who was going to win the match until like 9:55 on the time on the clock at each map. It was extremely close. Could have gone either way. RMV could have taken CNZ down as a stepping stone to prove himself to be one of the best players in the world, or CNZ could have started his redemption arc.
He certainly could, yeah. You brought up a few times, but yeah, he could. You never know. Like, it's CNZ's quite unpredictable in that kind of thing. So Dramas and CNZ will be waiting in the loser quarters rather, just to wait and see exactly what occurs in the winner's semis, and to give him an idea of maybe how to go through with the picks and bans too.
Yeah, how would you think are Dramas and CNZ chances of going further in the tournament?
It's difficult. I kind of feel like Dramas has more chance to maybe get a little bit further, but if he has to match potentially Raze or Zeneku, that's a tough ask. It is going to be a tall order. But Dramas is one of those people where you got to remember, in the Pro League, he beat Raze, Wenger, Rafa as well. So he's a diamond in the rough. He's one of those players where we're not too sure what he's going to show on the day, but if he's on form, then he's going to be very difficult to contend with.
Yeah, he's one of those players where consistency is his biggest issue, but he has such high peaks that he can take down anyone in the tournament if he's playing well in those 30 minutes. The problem is it's very hard to maintain that form throughout an entire tournament for him.
It certainly is indeed. Now let's take a look at the schedule for the course of the day as well to see what we're going to be witnessing first leading up to the grand final. So you can see we're going to have both upper bracket semi-finals to do with in the first 2 matches, and then we'll go with the upper bracket final straight afterwards, losers finals, and then it will be a grand final. And just to remind everyone at home, it is going to be a best of 3 in every single matchup apart from the grand finals. Grand finals will be a best of 5. The player from the winner's side only needs to win 1 best of 5, and the player from the loser side needs to win 2 best of 5. So whoever comes from the loser side, I hope if it got some energy in the tank, or at least, in that certain circumstance.
Yeah, I hope the guy from the loser bracket will have some energy to potentially face Raze.
Yeah.
He's looking like the favorite of the tournament. We haven't seen any weakness showing from him. And maybe he can finally break that top 2 barrier, which is a very small barrier, right?
Yeah, you never know. We'll find out. I'm sure, because it's very rare. More times than not, we've seen Raze come from the loser side, and that's where stamina can play a part to a certain degree. But this time around, if Raze come from the winner's side and needs to win 1 best of 5, it's going to be very different. We know we're used to the rule set where the winner's side normally has a 1 map advantage and go from there. And then when normally it is a best of 7, you have to be very, very particular about the maps you select, because when it gets to the final map choices and the final champion choices, it can be, I wouldn't say it's quite random, but of course you've only got what's on the table. You haven't really got much left on the very end, but this is different this time.
That's usually the problem with Raze, right? Coming from the lower bracket, he's usually left like the last map when it's 3-3, and the best of 7 is left with the really bad champion for the map. And that's happened like 5-6 times.
Yeah, it really has. Yeah, it certainly has indeed. Like we've seen like Sorlag versus Eisen on Blood Covenant and things like that. And
even at the last QuakeCon, it was he had Kiel versus a Sorlag on Ruins.
Yeah,
he has no way to chase that Sorlag. But this time around, with a double best of 5 potential, all of that is gone. Right? It's skill versus skill, and I think this is the best way to do it.
It certainly is. And there was another moment where, one of the previous QuakeCon finals before Death Knight actually got that buff. He had to use him on Deep Embrace, which, could have been a different story with the version of Death Knight we have now in comparison.
Yeah, definitely. I remember that one. That Death Knight was really buffed. And I'm glad that it's not the case anymore, because he was just exploding people here and there. It was a really good one. But yeah, the best of 5 system, I wish it was implemented in all of the tournaments, really. As we were talking about, the best of 7, I think it's very unfair for the lower bracket player, because all of the stamina drain that you already get from playing all of the lower bracket games, and then you're fighting uphill and with a champion and map disadvantage. It's just brutal.
It really is, yeah. Like, even with a one-map advantage, it's difficult because as to play from the winner's side, of course, they get to ban one map, and then it could be, either a map you're, not really keen on, or it could be your opponent's obviously best map, and that's where it gets even worse for your side. But in terms of going to the grand final now, where it's one, potentially two best of fives, a completely different story.
Completely, and especially in the best of 7, there's like, your opponent can just drop your best map. That can be the map that they choose to win, and you're already 2 maps down, basically, right? But yeah, with this best of 5, I would like to take another look at the winner bracket so we can try and pick out our final or best games from yesterday. Because mine was probably, I think ours was CNZ versus RMV. For the other favorite game would probably be Maxer versus RMV. And RMV is showing up on a lot of my favorite games, but his game versus Maxer was just really fun to watch.
It really was, and we were debating with RMV's playstyle in terms of like how he performs so aggressively on Vale, but not as much on other maps. But we saw a lot more of it from him on Ruins against CNZ.
Yeah, we did. And I was talking to him after the game, wondering if he knew what kind of problems he had, and he was sort of aware of it. But I told him to, watch the VODs, work on that. So let's see how he improves from that.
Yeah, I'm sure he will do it. Like, he'll go back and, review the VODs and just, at least rectify the mistakes he's made.
It's not something that hard to improve on, right?
No, exactly.
The last 2 minutes are bad, the rest is amazing.
It's just basic consistency, just right to the very end. Yeah, I completely understand. And in terms of our socials, make sure you follow us on @KeenCon Gaming on Twitter and Instagram, and also follow us on KeenCon TV on YouTube and Twitch. And also, don't forget with Twitter, Instagram, if you want any updates, news, or just follow the Twitter account just to make sure to get updates on, future tournaments for next year, then, that's going to be something you definitely want to follow for next year. And I think it's just in general, like how KeenCon has been now and then progressing to next year. Very interested to see how things go in the future.
Yeah, this venue is already amazing. I wonder what they have in store for us for next year. Yeah, I think they want to do even more.
Exactly, and I think, us and I'm sure everyone at home and everyone here is definitely looking forward to it, as we do have an interview with both Razy and Zeneku to see how they feel about the tournament so far.
Hi, my name is Adrian. I like playing computer games. I do it as my job, but I also like having fun. I tend to play with people a lot and just fool around in all kinds of games, but my main focus is Quake Champions, and that game I play on a professional level competitively. The first time I came across Quake was Quake 3 Arena when I was very young, and I played it on a hobby level against bots, because at the time we didn't have internet, but I was having a lot of fun and I got to know how the game works. The venue is actually very professional. I am pretty amazed by it. I had a walk around yesterday and it is very well set up. I'm looking forward to compete here in KeenCon, and well, my goal of course is to win it. Let's hope I can do that this time, because I usually end up being second. It's not bad, but would be nice to win every now and then. My favorite map in Quake Champions is Corrupted Keep, and my favorite champions are Anarchy and also Clutch.
Hey, my name is David. I describe myself as a pretty chill guy. I just like hanging out with friends and going to the gym. I think something that I really pursue in my life is just the goals that I want to achieve, and being a champion at Quake or being successful at Quake is something that I definitely want to do. So yeah, that's kind of me. I started playing Quake just before Quake Live came out, and then Quake Champions came out, and I've just been playing that. So Barcelona KeenCon, it's been really great so far. I think the whole setup I've been really impressed by it, and I can't wait to play on stage. I think everyone, like even all the staff, are just really nice. And yeah, I think just the whole setup, I'm really looking forward to just getting on there and just playing at the moment. My favorite Quake player is probably Rafa. I think probably when I first started playing, he kind of showed me the ropes a bit. So my favorite map is Ruins. And I think my favorite character is probably Scalebearer. Probably because back in the day, it gave me so many clutch wins that I really needed, and I think it annoys people, so I kind of enjoy that as well. So yeah, Scalebearer.
And there we have it. That's the interview with the players, so how they felt about the tournament. But we're ready